political ramifications of a man who ran on the fact that he was a wealthy and therefore successful businessman. And of course, Trump is agitated about already issued a statement. He said Democrats shouldn't have done this, and he went on to say the great USA divide will now grow far worse. The radical left Democrats have weaponized everything, but remember that this is a dangerous two-way street. And he released a video last week as part of his 2024 campaign, essentially calling on Republicans to start looking into Biden's finances and to Biden's family. So that's what he's referring to there when he talks about a two-way street.
And of course, the GOP is taking over the House in mere days. They're going to have a lot of oversight. We also know that House Ways and Means Chairman Richard Neal put out a statement this morning after this came out. What did he say? Of course, he's the Democrat.
Right. And he said, Congress serves as a check on the executive branch, and our committee is entrusted with oversight of our revenue system. A president is no ordinary taxpayer. They hold power and influence unlike any other American. And with great power comes greater responsibility. And of course, the important thing to note here is that Trump set an enormous amount, he broke an enormous amount of precedent when he was running for president and then was president. He became the first president in modern history not to release his taxes. This was something he chose to do. And on top of that, this is something that for decades he has shielded from the public. And one other thing I want to quickly touch on that we're looking for here is foreign entities and bank accounts.
So if the
That's
Congress
something we're going through these additional documents for. Does he have foreign bank accounts?
The president release his taxes. Can he have that do that to anybody?
The reason that's important is because you remember this was a big topic of conversation during his entire presidency. So that is something we're going to be looking at closely as we go through these hundreds of pages.
Right, a lot of data there to sort through. All right, Kristen, stay with us. We want to talk a little bit more about this, but we also want to bring in CNN political analyst Margaret Talev, managing editor for Axios, and Stephen Rosenthal, senior fellow at Urban Brookings Tax Policy Center. Great to have you all here. Margaret, let's start first with you. As I mentioned, the GOP taking control of the House in just mere days, timing everything here. The Democrats releasing these at the last minute they kind of could. We know that Republicans are planning for a lot of oversight investigations, but is there any indication you think that they're going to try to push back on this specifically?
I think they're going to message around it, and we've already seen that. But Republicans actually have an opportunity right now. If they want to, they can push to put this in legislation so that future presidents, including Democratic presidents, will be required to release this. That's not where their messaging is at right now, and it might never get there. Are they going to use this to try to require more disclosure, not only from Joe Biden, but from everyone in Joe Biden's family? Probably. But the truth of the matter is there's a difference between running for president of the United States and being related to somebody or in somebody's family, or even a candidate for other kinds of offices has long been what Americans expect. And the messaging from Republicans so far has been that if they can do this to Donald Trump, they can do this to you. Like the ordinary person will somehow have all of their voluminous, tax information revealed. It's, first of all, simply not true. Second of all, there's no interest in making an ordinary member of the public's tax returns public for the world to see. And third of all, if you did, what would it show? Most people can file an easy return. Many people who earn a fraction of what Donald Trump's holdings are paid much more in taxes in 2020, to the best of everyone's knowledge. And so it is, so far, the messaging is kind of a scare tactic, but it's really not on point. There is a completely different standard, and the polling shows that huge majority, somewhere between 2/3 and 4 out of 5 Americans, say that former President Trump's tax return should be made public.
Well, and it is the precedent. And to your point, the average American is not running for president or the president. There are very few Americans doing that. Stephen, can you explain some of the things you'd be looking for that would be, say, a blockbuster revelation beyond what we've already learned in bits and pieces, or key nuggets that could be gleaned from this?
So that was interesting.
Well,
She said that most people, wouldn't want to have their own taxes public. So if that's the case, where do you draw the line? President? Congressman? How about congressmen? Because congressmen and senators can trade on the stock market, and it's like, well, maybe we should record it, maybe we shouldn't.